Live from Seahawks Stadium at Anacortes High School in Anacortes, Washington, this is Seahawks Soccer on AHS Live.
Number 8, Julie Jacoby. Number 9, Maisie Wright. Number 10, Oriah Robinson. Number 11, Emma Schmella. Number 12, Keturah Curtis. Number 13, Julia Haywood. Number 14, Haley Hamidian. Number 15, Ellie Guran. Number 16, Kylie Leonard. Number 17, Kaylee Robinson. Number 19, Sophia Eltrich. Number 20, Giovanna Lira. Number 21, Jessa Bates. And number 22, Harmony Smith. Also, head coach Jared Fields and assistant coach Nick Cashmere.
And now, folks, for our Anacortes Seahawks. Number 2, a midfielder, Alyssa Digweed. Number 3, a defender, Carolina Schletz. Number 5, a forward, Edith Guzman. Number 6, a defender, Allison Cutter. Number 7, a midfielder, Abby Plagman. Number 8, a forward, Kayla Pierce. Number 9, a defender, Morgan Berard. Number 10, a forward, Emma Foley. Number 11, a midfielder, Ava Kephart. Number 12, a midfielder, Aaron Kennedy. Number 13, a midfielder, Jenna Oliver. Number 14, a defender, Cadence Lamphere. Number 15, a goalkeeper, Claire Schnabel. Number 16, a midfielder, Megan McKenna. Number 17, a defender, Bridget Mack. Number 18, a defender, Phi Pung Po. Number 19, a forward, Cameron Kerr. Number 20, a forward, Abby Schnabel. Number 21, a defender, Sammy Desminowitz. Also, head coach Gretchen Hansen and JV coach Samantha Sweats. Now, will you all please rise and remove your hats for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's have a great game tonight, folks.
Oh, they accidentally told Mr. Titus, and he said they couldn't sing. Okay, Lauren. Okay. Do we have the announcement? Yeah.
Hey, we can't really hear you that well.
What's up?
I'm talking to, like, them in the other booth. Oh, gotcha. Wait, I can't, well.
Hey guys, you're live.
We're live? Welcome, folks, to Rice Field here in Anacortes, Washington for a Northwestern Conference matchup between your home team, Anacortes Seahawks, and the visiting Bellingham Red Raiders. Having some wire trouble here in the early starts of the game. But, Cooper, what are your thoughts?
Well, this should be a spectacular matchup. Bellingham was great last season, as was Anacortes. This season, we're seeing a much stronger performance from Anacortes, and Bellingham with a slightly less competitive record, but you never know how that shakes out with their previous matches. So this should be a good one, and we're certainly excited to get it going.
Sweet. As they take the field, we'll go ahead and sit down here and get to the action quickly. tip-off. And Seahawks will then have the ball at the start of the second half.
All right. Yeah, Lauren, you're just following
And
along.
we're off, folks. Boot straight out of the gate here from Bellingham as they move forward quickly.
Bring them up. Yeah.
Now looking to the right sidelines and pushing in here. Red Raiders generating offense early in this game. Now with the chance to lob inside. Out of bounds quickly goes the attempt from the Red Raiders. And the first goal kick of the night will be taken. That's Claire Schnabel, you see in the box, just a sophomore goalkeeper
Zoom out. Zoom out.
for the Seahawks.
Follow the ball.
She'll look upfield. Oliver traps it momentarily in the midfield. Now coming through, that's Schwetz. Now toward the other side of the field, here Lamphere gets her first touch of the night, and now Kennedy looks forward. No chance for Kerr there. Knocked down on Pung Po by Haley Amidian. And Bellingham trying to generate something again. The same result as before, out of bounds.
This will be yet another goal kick for Claire Schnabel, the sophomore, who is actually the only freshman on the all-district team last year, and the first team at that as goalie. So she is certainly very talented.
I'm still on you, Lauren. Find the ball, Christy.
Hoping that she'll make some entertaining saves, but maybe not have too much on her hands. And
Look with your eyes, not with the camera.
now a ball towards right side of the field for Kennedy. She's looking inside again, and it's taken by the Red Raiders. Against towards the sideline here, Lamphere fights off a Red Raider, but now straight into the feet of Terrelyn McSorley before Schnabel comes in.
That's kind of what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to get her to follow the ball right now.
This one in the backfield now, Jenna Oliver on the ball. Crossed over towards Schwetz.
Now looking for a through ball. They're going to blow that one.
Looks like a free kick here for Anacortes. Schnabel to take it, I believe.
So, Christy.
Bellingham Red Raiders, definitely the team setting the tone here offensively, generating a lot of opportunities early on. Anacortes still looking to get some more possession on the other side of the field as Cameron Kerr now with a possible attack. She barrels through one defender. Now on the far sideline, she'll cut back and look inside. A grounder. Not close enough to Kennedy.
A beautiful look, though. She certainly knew what to expect from her teammates there. We're starting to see Anacortes respond after the Bellingham Raiders dominating that first few seconds.
As you see the Bellingham goalkeeper in joggers. Can't blame her for that. It's pretty cold out as of right now. Lamphere now challenging with a Red Raider, and they'll have possession. As Foley tries to get it to Schnabel, and then back to Foley. Now with Foley again is the ball. She'll just defer to Desminowitz. Try to move fields here. Desminowitz going back to the middle, looking for Schnabel, but a good touch there from Oriah Robinson. And the Red Raiders still fighting here. Now Foley.
Our defenders playing way up the field tonight. Certainly everybody is on the attack.
This ball will go to the Red Raiders. They'll have a chance to throw in the first of the night.
That one to Pung Po. Up the field to Abby Schnabel.
Emma Foley coming in here. Trying to get the ball back to Anacortes. She will, at least momentarily. Now running up the sidelines is Kennedy. Way to get past one of those Red Raiders pretty easily, but then taken away by McSorley there. Now back towards Lamphere. She'll have to get it all the way to Schnabel in the goal box. Now the Red Raiders trying to come up with something again. They'll look to the right side of the field. Chase down from Maisie Wright. She's greeted by none other than Erin Kennedy.
Erin Kennedy tonight filling in a captain spot, which is new for her.
Wearing that orange neon sleeve. The speed from Cameron Kerr beats the defender out of the gate here. She has an opportunity. Good trap from the keeper. As you see, we got a little excited there. But, wow, you see there the sheer athleticism from Cameron Kerr just out-endurancing the Red Raider defender. This one's blown dead. And, looking for Schnabel. She's there on the near sidelines, being challenged well by Wolverton for the Red Raiders, and Anacortes will retain the ball here.
Ball seems to have disappeared off the side of the field. We've lost track of it.
Coming back here. And the throw in, looking to Oliver. She'll fight off a couple defenders, but now back with the Red Raiders it goes. Desminowitz putting pressure on McSorley here. Excuse me, on Wright, number 9, that. Schnabel will look back to Desminowitz, who, as Cooper said earlier, is playing really far up tonight, trying to keep the pressure on the Red Raiders. Kennedy now to Kerr, once again, muscling off, and she's got a goal in the right corner. Beautiful left footer from Cameron Kerr, the sophomore forward, but it may be at a serious price now. Down on the field is Cameron Kerr. This does not look good, folks.
Ref and coach coming in. Looks like she might be doing some stretching here. May have overextended her leg there on the kick.
As we see a substitution for the Red Raiders, Julie Jacoby coming in that defensive position, trying to adjust due to the talent of Cameron Kerr. With that said, we're not sure if she's gonna be playing in the next few minutes, because she's pretty still down there on the field.
Yeah, terrible cost for that goal. Remarkable talent, though, the way they break through the defensive line of the Red Raiders, seemingly cutting through those outside defenders on both edges of the field.
I think definitely the Seahawks, on an earlier play where Cameron got through a couple defenders with ease, the Seahawks kind of saw a hole in that defense where Kerr just had too much speed over the defenders to be stopped. And so the second time they went to her, it worked with a little bit of muscle. And the Seahawks are up 1-0 pretty early in the game here. But Cameron's been out there on the field for quite some time now, with no change in her position or her movement, as now the JV coach comes out. So they're really taking a look at her right now, and there's got to be some nervous stomachs in the field and in the stands for the Seahawks.
Absolutely. We'll take a short break here and be back with you when the action resumes.
Remember, an unanswered call is no complaint at all.
Pretzel crust is back at Little Caesars.
Yep, people loved it so much they brought it back.
They actually listen to their customers.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. And pretzel crust is back with a cheddar cheese sauce and a soft pretzel crust for just $6.
Pizza.
You're live.
Welcome back, folks. still on the field is Cameron Kerr, so not a huge change having occurred.
We see now athletic director Eric Titus on the field.
And a fourth opinion coming out now as well in the Blue Jacket. Not actually sure who that is.
This one really catching all of us off guard. I'm sure Cameron Kerr as well.
And at this point, with the way things are going right now, it seems fairly safe to say that she's probably not going to return to the field anytime soon, because she's not even trying to walk off the field right now, with support or not. I'm not sure if they're just having a conversation and keeping her planted on the ground, or if it's something more serious. There's now a ref approaching this cluster of people in the Red Raiders penalty box. Nevertheless, a great start out of the gate for the Seahawks, putting up a point real early in this contest. The Red Raiders came out swinging, and they had their opportunities in the first few minutes as well. But being able to capitalize on opportunities is obviously far more important than creating them. It's a two-way street, and the Seahawks have been driving just a little better to this point in the game.
This injury starting to look pretty serious over here. Seemingly no what's the guy called? Sports medicine specialist on staff tonight. Mr. Titus was making a call earlier, potentially getting.
If the lack of enthusiasm out of Cooper and I is any indication as compared to other nights, I mean, this is serious. Not only easily one of the most talented players on the Seahawks, but also from a leadership role, like a mental standpoint, to lose someone as valuable and as consistent as Cameron Kerr in this type of way, which is extremely serious, as we see the coaches carrying her off. She's unable to walk at this point. It's a detriment to this team. So we'll see what kind of adjustments Anacortes attempts to make here. Still really early in this game to try and counter this offensive loss.
We see her teammates on the bench concerned as well. They're, more than just players. They're all great friends.
Yeah, definitely. Looking to see who's going to come in for Kerr.
That looks to be Claire Schnabel now playing up front, replacing and Ava Kephart replacing her in the goal. So
Or has she been there all along?
that might be.
Valid point having been made, as she'll roll out. And McKenna, unable to get to that one. She does the splits, now trying to get herself back up. Oliver with possession in the midfield now. The Red Raiders here, a good ball from Foley. She'll get it outside to McKenna. And Foley again. They're going to call that one. Free kick awarded to the Seahawks.
messy game thus far. Hopefully we see a little change in that throughout the rest of the night. Just unlucky injuries on both parts.
So Disminowitz will boot it towards Schnabel, and now in the feet of Foley. Looking back inside. And Kennedy trying to get there from the sideline. And clearance there from the Red Raiders to give the Seahawks a throw in. There's Schnabel looking for McKenna and cleared by the Red Raiders. Now Pung Po contesting, being pushed. Here's
Morgan
Berard.
now with the ball.
Jinx.
Quite a spin move there by Schnabel.
And a boot over the head of Disminowitz, but chased down well by Pung Po, who will just let it back to Kephart. She'll look upfield now to Foley as Schnabel tries to get to the sideline for McKenna, but the touch off McKenna gives it back to Bellingham. Throw in from Casey French here. Good long ball. Looked for Maisie Wright, and the clear from Ella Goron gives it back to the Seahawks once again. So now the game's sort of mellowing out a little bit. Both sides kind of getting their bearings, and now a more evenly fit match here we're seeing. But with a lead on the board, Anacortes definitely can't be disappointed about the position, as Schnabel now looking for the chase down. But Julie Jacoby gets there too soon. Once again in front of Kennedy this time, who tries to get it back, then cleared by Araya Robinson.
Cadence Lanfear now chasing down the ball. She'll take the throw in. Looking towards, not Kennedy actually, but Schnabel. It's getting confusing with both of them on the field.
This is true. This is true. We should probably include their first names. That one's Claire, as Foley's looking for the chase down. She's got the speed. She's in front of the defender. Can she get to the goal in time? She can once again in the right corner. Oh my goodness, folks. This can't be deja vu. Okay, Emma Foley's been helped up. She's all right. Nice little kick from the goalkeeper there. Wish we would have seen that sort of talent a few seconds earlier, where she could have possibly gotten the save, but instead it's 2-0. This time Foley getting a goal in similar fashion to the way Kurz went down, right corner, off of a grounder with a defender behind her. Again, you see the overall agility of the Seahawks, not just Kerr, but other players as well, really serving to be an obstacle for the Bellingham Red Raider defenders thus far.
The outside defenders on the Raiders, we also see playing pretty high on the field, which has been creating this gap that the Seahawk players have been capitalizing on. And it's working for them. This is a spectacular start that really demonstrates how strong a team they are this season.
But the Red Raiders going back towards the net of the Seahawks for a moment here. Now Kennedy looks for Foley. A little 1-2 here between Kennedy and Foley. And Kephart will scoop that one up comfortably. Looked across fields here. Taking her time.
They know they've got the lead, so they're in no hurry. They want to play smart and maintain their current position.
Header from Lamphere goes backwards. Now Maisie Wright in contest with Pung Po. She's got the ball. And the boot forward will sail out of bounds. Good technique there by Disminowitz to let that one get out of bounds by blocking the Red Raider player before they were able to get to that ball, and sort of cutting off their offensive angle there. So Kephart will get a goal kick. as we see a couple substitutions here for the Red Raiders. Ava looking upfield here, received by the older Schnabel, that's Abby. Now towards the outside yet again goes Kennedy. Looking upfield for the younger Schnabel. Does she have the speed? As of right now, she does not. Jacoby with that ball. But the hustle by Schnabel pays off as Kennedy gets an opportunity momentarily and taken away again by the Red Raiders. Good trap from Maisie Wright. She'll look to keep the ball in possession of the Red Raiders for more than just a few seconds here. Looking upfield, easily read by Desminowitz. He'll go back. We've got a hole here, like Cooper was saying. Kennedy, the speed from Jacoby this time, and a block there off the body of Sophia Eltrich.
Another beautiful one, too, between Kerr and Foley there. They've got that dialed.
So I think maybe not comparing well to Kerr or Foley, but we saw a substitution early that put July Jacoby in that far field defender position on the outside, and against Kennedy, she does have the overall speed advantage. So definitely a tactical substitution early on in the game to try and negate Anacortes' speed down the sidelines, which has proven to be fairly hard to stop. Cleared out by the Red Raiders, but given to the Seahawks. Now Berard will boot it up, and caught by Opal Barker there.
Desminowitz sending it up to Claire Schnabel. Dropped back to Aaron Kennedy. He's back again to Cadence Lanfear. Pressure now by Emma Foley.
And the Red Raiders looking forward here now. They'll take to the sidelines. Passing Lanfear. Does Pungpo have the speed? Right now she does. Able to get in there and stop the Red Raiders from moving. Now Kephart having to chase down this ball. Sending it back to the middle before being blocked by a Red Raider. Very close one there. Nothing called on Schnabel there as she looks to her older sister. Now back to Berard. And the Red Raiders trying to move forward here. There's Maisie Wright. Clearance from Desminowitz. And a trap from Schnabel. Trying to move upfield, but met there by a Red Raider. Smith now making a couple cuts. Once again looking outside. And the cut inside from Kaylee French. Sends it up. Not out of it yet. And a Chester from Desminowitz. You see the applause from Kephart there. Really backing each other up defensively. Great continuity between both keepers and defenders there for the Seahawks.
Looks like the Red Raider attacker there was a little bit slow to get up. Making goal attempts seems to be a
threatening business. Yeah.
You don't want to mess with that.
Desminowitz tried to get it to Berard there, but the ball sailed out too quickly before she could get a foot under it. And Casey French will look to throw in here. Headed by Berard. Back toward the middle goes Schnabel. And Kennedy now moving upfield. Back toward the Red Raiders goes this ball. Cadence Lanfear now. With a block there as well. This time taking advantage of the disposition is the Red Raiders, looking to move inside, but to no avail as Desminowitz is there. When is she not? Now Pungpo looking to move forward. The Red Raiders with the advantage again. And Desminowitz doing her part continually to this point in the game. Not a lot gets past her.
Certainly not. We've seen again and again when the ball is on her side of the field. It's pretty hard stop there. Seemingly, substitution for the Red Raiders here.
Now we see that defender Jacoby coming out. Wonder if the Seahawks will look to that far sideline again. And the Red Raiders looking forward, booted by Haley Hamidian, but that one will just sail out of bounds. Kephart will get a goal kick here.
13 minutes in this half left, folks. And obviously there'll be some added stoppage time. But really strong start for Anacortes as we're a third of the way through the game. Everybody's settling down. They have this 2-point cushion that I'm sure they're happy about.
Now Berard looking towards Kennedy, who switched fields here. Trying to get past Hamidian. And moving forward goes Kennedy. Schnabel unable to get there before the clearance from Sophia Eldridge. But the ball will go out of bounds in favor of the Seahawks as Kennedy go ahead and give it back to Berard.
You can see them piling up defenders on this side. They don't want to be broken through again.
Good first touch there from Schnabel, and yet again Hamidian sends it out of bounds. Berard will look this time towards Foley, who has the ball. Hustle here from Foley, gets it past Maisie Wright. Now looking towards the other side of the field. Good hustle there from Schwetz.
Uncleared by Elsbeth Wolverton.
As we see a couple substitutions for the Seahawks, Kayla Pierce and Abby Plagman coming in. Plagman, the singular freshman on the Seahawks squad, but she has earned her stripes, playing very well throughout the season.
She was icing her knee earlier actually on the bench, so we'll have to see if that makes any difference. It certainly hasn't seemed to.
Desminowitz making some serious strides now, looking to cross inside. Plagman's there. Now Schwetz tries to get a ball off. And Maisie Wright can't save it. Seahawks playing some really up-tempo offense here. Trying to increase the lead. Deferring to Oliver goes Schnabel. And that one sails a little too high for the Seahawks. But again, continual pressure from the Seahawks is keeping the Red Raiders from even trying to score. Right now. We'll see if they can continue that for the next 10.5 or so minutes to close this out and keep Bellingham off the scoreboard.
Plagman immediately becoming a force to be reckoned with. She's been the beginning of a couple drives upfield.
That ball from Barker goes out of bounds before any touch is available for the Red Raiders. So throw-in immediately given to the Seahawks. As now for the Red Raiders, we see a couple substitutions. July Jacoby and Mary Garon coming in.
A little bit of shoe tying going on as well. Apparently did not double knot.
That's the big difference maker, is the double knot, folks.
It's hard to undo, but I mean that's kind of the point.
Quick turnaround from Schnabel now. She'll continue to look forward. Pierce with a possible opportunity. And now Schnabel just a little far right for the Seahawks. But once again, keeping this ball well away from their goal and within scoring distance. The Seahawks really just not leaving this half of the field for the last few minutes. And the Red Raiders may be due for another allowed score here pretty soon.
Interestingly, the reciprocal of the first few minutes when the Red Raiders really dominated the
Definitely.
field. But Anacortes found their stride.
So this time, Plagman will take a kick and just defer to Berard, who sends one straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, Barker. Try to get the Red Raiders back on their feet and moving quickly, but Plagman denies that idea immediately. As Desminowitz now lets it sail back towards Kephart, who boots it forward. Did Bellingham touch that one?
Looks like it.
Yeah.
I didn't see where, but Anacortes ball.
Schwetz will get the inbound to Oliver.
The ball making a consistent appearance in the Red Raider goal box tonight. That's what we like to see.
Jacoby straight into the feet of Pungpo. Now Plagman moving forward here. Lamphere gets it up to Schwetz. She's got one coming behind her, so she'll look inside to Plagman. Can't get there over Jacoby quick enough. Free kick given to the Seahawks here. Desminowitz will take it, which is the norm, to say the least. She's got a very strong leg on her. Good trap from Oliver, trying to stay upfield here, but now the Red Raiders. Good hustle there, but for no avail as it goes straight to Berard. She'll try to send it upfield. A little too much strength on that kick. And Barker able to get there comfortably.
Low kick straight to Flagman, supported by Lamphere. Morgan Berard has played a key role in the defense of this game. We didn't see her last game. I wonder if she was out for an injury or something there.
Yeah, the sophomore getting starting time today as Schwetz on the far side of the field. We'll put it back towards Plagman. Now Schnabel looks to cross towards Kennedy. Good cutback from Kennedy. She's going to go ahead and just take a shot. Blocked fairly easier there by Hamidian.
Quite a kick for a lefty, though. That's not her dominant foot.
And the defensive stop by French serves only a momentary purpose, as Berard will get another throw in here. Handful of substitutions going on. We see the younger Schnabel, Claire, now exiting the game to bring Foley back in. And that didn't do much other than move Barrage throw a little upfield. Kennedy now looks inside off the top of the goal net just behind the post. Goes Kennedy's ball, but Anacortes still with possession here. Plagman looking for Schwetz now to Foley. Sending it upfield. The ball from Elizabeth Rosen goes out of bounds, and Lamphere will throw it in here.
Another substitution for the Red Raiders. This is kind of an inordinate. That's a hard word. There's a lot of them tonight. Trying to keep their players fresh and likely warm as well. The Anacortes players huddling under a blanket, but Bellingham seemingly doesn't have that luxury.
As Anacortes backing it up here, trying to just play calm, but the Red Raiders now bringing some pressure. Kennedy trying to get to that ball before the defender. She's got the speed right now and the angle. Can she get it in time? Now looking inside, Barker with a great save, keeping it away from the feet of Kayla Pierce. But great hustle nonetheless by Aaron Kennedy on the far side of the field there. That was a lot of ground made up to get to that ball.
Speed certainly is one of Anacortes' main advantages. We've seen both tonight and at the last game we broadcasted. That's where a lot of their points come from.
See, that time failed to keep control. Kaylee Robinson giving Kennedy a freebie there after beating her to the ball. And yet again, a substitution as Maisie Wright comes back in for the Red Raiders. If anyone out there thought that there was a limit on substitutions tonight, definitely told you the opposite. Foley looks towards Schwetz, but cleared by Araya Robinson.
Only 3 minutes left in this half, folks. Bellingham will be wanting to put some points on the board before the stoppage time, just to prove that they're a force to be reckoned with. But the ball has hardly touched Anacortes' half of the field in the later half of this half.
A lot of halves going on as Lamphere looks towards Plagman. And Pierce trying to formulate something here. Oliver gets to the ball just before Jacoby. Cut back from Kennedy. You see just the calm nature of Kennedy's play style. She's so comfortable out there on the field, and it's really a testament to her veteran abilities. Even as a sophomore, she's just very aware out on the field. Knows where she has to be, and just knows the game.
She's got the pacing dialed in as well. You don't see her losing any speed throughout the game, and I think she's figured out exactly how much effort she can expend and when to capitalize on it to the end of the second half.
So a boot forward from Oliver looks for Pierce. She has an opportunity, blocked by Barker just off of her foot. Kayla Pierce gives a quick sigh about that one. She knew she was close to a goal there. Still with a little over a minute, Anacortes.
And more subs. Maybe they're just trying to figure out how many or how much stoppage time they could put on the clock. There's going to be a third half tonight.
Part of it has to be an attempt at trying to dupe the speed Anacortes has formulated for themselves here in the first half, especially on the sidelines. Kennedy, Foley, Kerr have all done their part to intimidate this Red Raider team, and the coaches just continually testing new lineups to try and block Anacortes' offensive output. Barker looks upfield, straight to the head of Jenna Oliver. And there's the horn for the big clock, but doesn't seem to muddle the refs, as they'll keep time going here, which makes sense. The injury time for Kerr knocked a handful of minutes off the clock before players began moving with the ball again. Now Maisie Wright trying to formulate something here. Pung Po reading it well, and she'll have to defer. Now Foley keeping it in bounds on the sidelines. Plagman goes down. They're going to call that one. Got a free kick given to the Seahawks. Who's taking it? Oh, it's Disminowitz. What do you know? Can't blame him.
Can't be disappointed either, though, because it's always good.
No, definitely.
I suppose they can't go inside the goal box. Need to
I'm sorry.
Did that just find
I'm
itself
sorry.
inside the goal?
I'm not completely sure. Okay, folks. I'm a bit speechless right now. The scoreboard says 3-0, but that one looks to have gone out. Yeah, no goal awarded there. I would have been a little more than startled if Disminowitz made that one. You see, my speech is basically gone here out of surprise. Not that she couldn't have made that, but wow, that would have been a heck of a goal. I'm trying to get my bearings here. The Seahawks now moving upfield with some danger. Schwetz on the sideline makes a hustle, but cleared well by Robinson.
The abundance of substitutions here making it a little bit hard to tell who is who.
Now with the ball quickly taken away by Berard and then to Plagman. Header from Lamphere sends it out of bounds. Again, a couple substitutions for the Red Raiders. And I think we're pretty far past the point of being able to count them on our two hands, folks.
We'll go for that second half, just to see where it ends up. They've got a small bench tonight. One of their players is injured, and I think overall just a smaller team. But the substitutions probably also just to keep their players fresh with so few extras.
Although to this point, the freshness for the Raiders is looking a little bit rotten, because they've been unable to put really anything strong together offensively since the first few minutes of the game. Knock on wood, of course. Kephart scoops that one up. Gives it to Berard. She'll keep the ball here. Good cutback from Berard. And now Disminowitz looking upfield. Digweed didn't have the angle to get there. And a throw-in awarded to the Red Raiders.
Not only subbing, but it looks like the Red Raiders are switching up positions on the field. Their coach is signaling there.
Quickly, Oliver gets a foot on that one. And now Plagman in the midfield, putting pressure on the Red Raiders. Berard will look to Kayla Pierce here. And now back to Berard. And the Red Raiders once again trying to formulate something offensively. It hasn't worked thus far. A little bump from Pung Po. They're going to call that one. as Haley Hamidian went down on that affair. Kick from Garan upcoming. Straight into the hands of Kephart goes the kick from Garan. Probably important to note that there's also two Garan sisters, so each team having a pair of siblings.
It's been a long 2 minutes.
Not Pung Po. And Pierce looking upfield towards Digweed. This time, for really one of the first times in the game, we see Jacoby for the Red Raiders with the speed advantage over Digweed, just barely there. But she's able to clear it. Of course, that means Digweed will get the ball again. Now Jacoby and to Digweed, who sends it back to Plagman off of a deflection by the Red Raiders. Oliver looking outside. Digweed trying to get there. She'll keep it in bounds. Now she's shoved hard by Jacoby. And Foley gets in between the legs of a Red Raider to get it to Oliver, who moves upfield for a little bit. Now to Lamphere.
Really working the field here. We've seen every player just about touch the ball in the last few seconds.
I think they know that halftime is coming, and they're just trying to hustle as hard as they can for as long as they can until that point in time comes.
Lots of motivation when you don't know how long. Oh, it's another free kick there.
Some aggression being exhibited by both teams here as we reach the halfway point through this game.
Surely some frustration from the Red Raiders tonight, unable to match Anacortes' 2 points.
And that one will go out of bounds for a goal kick. And they'll go ahead and end it on that note. So a 2-0 start for the Anacortes Seahawks in this affair. 40 minutes left to play. We'll go ahead and take a break and be back with some highlights of the first half.
At the Senior College, we believe that learning should never stop. Anacortes Senior College offers lifelong learning opportunities to adults over 50 in a relaxed atmosphere. No test or homework. ASC is ran by volunteers including retired college professors, scientists, artists, business and medical professionals. Fall, winter, and spring courses are held Tuesdays and Thursdays. For more information and registration forms, go to seniorcollege.org.
Go a few blocks into Old Town Anacortes and you'll find Dad's Diner. With breakfast and lunch served all day, you'll definitely find the perfect meal. All of their food is prepared fresh each day, from the delicious house salad with salmon to the savory BLT. Dad's Diner, open Tuesday through Sunday, is located on Commercial between 9th and 10th Street. Come on down and grab a bite.
Kennelly Keys Music in Anacortes is your one-stop shop for all your musical needs. As a full-service music retailer, Kennelly Keys offers everything from sales and rentals to music lessons and repairs. Whatever you need, Kennelly Keys Music has you covered. Visit our website at KennellyKeysMusic.com, follow us on Facebook, or stop by the store and speak with our knowledgeable staff. And make sure to check out our new music hall. Kennelly Keys Music, located at 1904 Commercial Avenue in Anacortes.
Behind every great Anacortes club and team, there's an unspoken hero. People that get us our team gear, organize our team dinners, and support us in everything else we need. From every student athlete in AHS, thank you, Saba, for the football team's two-a-day shirts, the volleyball team's warm-up gear, and everything else in between. Saba, the Seahawk Athletics Booster Association.
Each year, thousands of fantastic pictures are taken by yearbook photographers of AHS sporting events, assemblies, performing arts, and more. The best of these photos are now available to you online. Just point your browser to ahs.smugmug.com. You can download digital images or order prints right from your computer or phone with the SmugMug app. How cool is that? Support the rhododendron and your students by using ahs.smugmug.com.
Here.
The Action Club is a Kiwanis club for adults with disabilities. Every second Saturday of every month, you can head to the Port of Anacortes web lockers at Seafarers Way and Q Avenue. Once there, you can recycle your computers, monitors, laptops, tablets, Kindles, portable DVD players, e-readers, and televisions. The money we collect during the e-cycle is used in several ways to benefit community service projects.
Thank you. You're live.
Welcome back, folks. We're just wrapping up the first half and going to get back to the action somewhat soon. Definitely a strong start for the Seahawks, although we did see one of the star players, Cameron Kerr, go down after scoring that first goal. Although she looks to be doing a little better now on the sideline.
She is. Yeah, she's still on the bench, keeping that leg warm, seemingly getting a little bit of attention from her teammates there, but she hasn't left the field, which indicates it's nothing like concussion type of injury. So some good news, yeah. As well as the 2 points that are currently on the scoreboard.
The other thing is, after Kerr was forced to exit the game due to what looked like a pretty serious injury, the Anacortes offense still kind of kept it rolling, and not only scoring a goal, but basically from 15-20 minutes down, continuing to keep the ball on the Red Raiders side of the 50 85% of the time, maybe.
Absolutely. Yeah, no really strong attacks on goal from the Red Raiders. It certainly ended up in the goal box. There was one, I suppose, where Kephart made a wonderful sliding stop. But she's certainly playing with confidence. She knows her defense has got her covered. And they have, so far. We got
Go ahead.
5 minutes remaining here. We're going to look at some replays and catch back up with you when we resume.
We're back.
Bringing you back here to Seahawks Stadium in Anacortes, Washington. Cooper Hanrahan alongside Michael Nichols. Yeah, right. Michael Hanrahan alongside Cooper Nichols. Maybe my brain's still flopping a little from what we thought up here in the booth was a goal from Disminowitz off of a free kick right around the 25-yarder. It was a beautiful shot, and really it was pretty darn close. But back to reality. If you're just joining us, Anacortes was able to put up a pretty strong showing in the first half, and they'll try to keep their offensive wheels turning here for the next 40 minutes and put some more points up on the board. And then, of course, they'd love to get a shutout here against the Red Raiders and also make sort of a defensive statement, keep Bellingham out of their own net.
Absolutely. Bellingham coming in with a 3-2-2 record compared to Anacortes 5-2-1. And we're seeing the stats play out as you'd expect them to tonight. So Anacortes would love to make that 6-2-1.
Definitely.
And it looks like, I'm not going to say it looks like they are. They've started very strong, and you can see them not doing a whole lot of strategizing on the bench there as compared to Bellingham, who seems to be rethinking their play style. Anacortes just trying to stay warm, stay energized, and keep their momentum going.
Right, and that's a really interesting thing to look at is the difference in motivation heading into the second half. Right, it's more of a challenge probably to try and keep a lead and keep this game away from the Red Raiders than it is to chase a lead. And the Red Raiders definitely have motivation on their side. However, momentum would fall to the Seahawks because throughout the first half, they kept the ball upfield, kept Bellingham on their toes, and obviously were also able to fit a couple goals into that.
Just an addition on the momentum for the Seahawks. They probably are playing this a little bit for Cameron Kerr tonight. They certainly would love to take this win in her honor.
That's a good point. And the other thing is, they want to show that although Kerr is a vital factor in their ability to win games and truly a top talent on the team, they also want to show, hey, you can bend us, but we're not broken yet, right? Like our team can still win a game without Cameron Kerr, and it's a tough loss that you don't like to see, but Anacortes remaining strong thus far in the game and hoping to keep that up here in the second half.
As we see here, the refs and the Anacortes players taking to the field. Bellingham getting a few last-minute words in with their coaches, surely trying to formulate a new plan to keep up with our offense. But we're seconds away from our second half.
That's right. And then, of course, we see the switching of goalkeepers at half, which has been something the Seahawks have done a lot this season. We apologize. In the first half, I think we started off stating that Kephart was Schnabel, and that's our bad. But now Schnabel is in the goal box, and Kephart's out on the field in the midfield position for Anacortes.
A real testament to both of their skills to do well as a goalie and as forward.
Right.
Very different tasks there.
Yeah, very different play styles needed for each of those positions. Ones that both Kephart and Schnabel seem to be able to switch between pretty easily. As this one's booted up quickly by Anacortes, and it looks like the tapping of the foot by Foley's gonna give the Red Raiders the first throw-in of the second half. Kennedy gets to that one quickly, but now back to the Red Raiders it goes. For a short period of time now in the midfield, moving up is Ella Garan. Digweed's able to chase that one down. Kept it in
very, very nearly in bounds. Oh,
Well, that
somehow
one-
we still have the ball.
Yeah, interestingly enough. Thanks, ref. So moving upfield now, Digweed making her presence known, trying to muscle through some Red Raider defenders, and does so well enough to keep the ball in the hands of the Seahawks. They'll get a throw in. Now, well within the Red Raider territory, trying to score quickly out of the gate and increase this lead. Foley with a throw in. And a clearance from the Red Raiders. Sets them up for a possible play. Pung Po, once again with the speed, she'll send it back to Schnabel, who gets chased down by Maisie Wright, but to no avail. As the defender, Allie Cutter, there you see her getting her first few minutes of the night.
A little bit more contention this half. We've seen more spread out time on either side of the field as we started the first half. Anacortes just hopefully waiting to find their stride, getting warm again.
Now looking to the outside is the Red Raiders, a tactic that was used successfully, I might add, by the Seahawks in the first half. But Maisie Wright couldn't get to that one. It's interesting, even after the Seahawks had scored their first goal, and it kind of seemed as though their offensive rhythm was just too far ahead of the Red Raiders, there was still a lot of back and forth, and really it shows that in a game like soccer, things can change so quickly, because we'd be going back and forth for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden Aaron Kennedy gets upfield and makes a play for the Seahawks, and they've got a goal off the foot of Foley. So don't be deceived by this kind of even possession percentage between teams, because I would still be inclined to give the Seahawks an advantage in this second half of play.
Seemingly whenever we get complacent, there's a break like that, and as you said, it really happens fast, often off the foot of Desminowitz, just flying upfield.
Now Foley and Kephart finding each other. This time Kephart gets it back to Oliver. She'll make a cutback here. Kephart trying to move forward, can't get through both of those defenders. But now Desminowitz, as you said, moving upfield, she'll boot it straight to Barker, who cautiously takes that one with her foot rather than her hands. But she does end up saving it. Now looking upfield, a low ball from Barker gets it right back to Desminowitz. She'll try to look towards Kennedy, which she does. Now, Kennedy and Foley, good 1-2 action from them. Does Kennedy have the speed? She's got the juking ability and the cold shoulder against Robinson there. Now, onto the other side of the field goes Cutter to get it up to Digweed momentarily as it gets back to the Red Raiders.
Another player on the ground there. We've seen a lot of that tonight. This kick likely to go to the Red Raiders.
And it will. Ella Garan will take this one. Looking upfield, there goes Garan's kick. Straight back towards Seahawk players, though. And now Desminowitz with a high baller. Fighting forward is Kephart. Now Emma Foley with the breakaway. Defenders chasing her down. Can they get there in time? Right now it looks like they won't. Kennedy with the second chance opportunity. Aaron Kennedy gets her first goal of the night off of a deflection from Foley's kick by Barker. And it's really a right place at the right time moment for Aaron Kennedy, the sophomore who's been given the captain stripe tonight, scores and makes it a 3-0 lead for the Seahawks.
Foley there proving she's even faster with the ball than Bellingham is without it. Which is,
okay.
Man, it's a statement.
Cadence Lamphere trying to clear, and Aaron Kennedy knows that one's going out of bounds. She'll let Robinson take that throw in. And once again, you see just how fast these things can happen. Foley got a breakaway, and then one deflection later, Kennedy came roaring into the goal box and sent it straight into the net.
Bellingham's keeper here has a lot of pressure on her tonight. It's never a great place to be in for a keeper to have to do any work at all, really. And she's done well, made several good saves, but with this many attempts, it's hard to maintain that consistency, I suppose.
Kephart fighting off the Red Raider player for the ball, and she gets it back to Kennedy, now sent out of bounds by Garan. As Lamphere jogs off the track, getting back onto the pitch, and the ref hesitating a little bit to point that in the direction of the Red Raiders. So Robinson will send it in.
A little bit of a fake out.
Struggling to find her folks here.
We could just keep doing throw-ins. And looks like we will.
Yeah, the header off of Elsbeth Wolverton gives it right back to the Seahawks. As Lamphere looks toward the middle of the field. Oliver, not quite there. Cutter trying to keep this alive for the Seahawks. Now Plagman with an opportunity moving forward. Through ball. A little too short. Digweed was coming in there faster than a rocket
fast.
ship. Yeah. Couple back and forth headers from each team. Plagman once again looking upfield. Can the through ball get to Digweed? This time she'll hustle again. Basically the exact same play we just saw. Barker picks it up a few seconds ahead of Digweed's attempt to get there. And she'll just roll it to Wolverton. Good interception by Oliver there. And Foley now in the midfield looking for Kephart. Clearance there by Wolverton. Interesting choice made by Elsbeth Wolverton. Possibly could have just let that one roll into the hands of Barker, but
thought maybe they'd give her a break for a little while.
Well, that break will cost them as a throw-in for the Seahawks. Sets them up here, still in really good field position. Looking inside to Kephart. She's got the trap for it. Fighting for the ball here. Foley gets it to Plagman. Little too much muscle on that one. Now Digweed on the outside. She'll go down. They're keeping this play alive. Cutter trying to keep this one away from Bellingham. And she'll get it to Disminowitz, who makes a quick turnaround. Now again, being pushed backwards by Maisie Wright there. Good pressure by the Red Raiders. And it forces Disminowitz to send that one out of bounds and into the hands of what looks like Julie Jacoby. On the far side there. Hard to read the numbers. I think that was an incorrect association of number to player name on my part. But we'll keep it rolling here, folks. If you're just tuning in, 3-0 up on the scoreboard. That's your Anacortes Seahawks, who formulated a dangerous lead here in the second half.
30 minutes left to go in this second half. Certainly lots of catch-up to do by Bellingham, but not impossible.
Cut back from Plagman leads to an opportunity now for Foley, once again, who has the speed. This time, it may be the Red Raiders, but Foley gets a quick cutback. Now the ball's still alive for the Seahawks. And a clearance there from the Red Raiders calms the situation down, possibly only momentarily, as it's sent back over the head of Oliver by her own foot. And once again, the Seahawks looking to create something offensively. Digweed's been beat up a handful of times in this second half of play already, but she's taking it on the chin, continuing to fight to keep the Seahawks with possession. Plagman looks, she'll get that one off. They're going to go ahead and call that a foul. She tries to help up the player. Not sure if that hand by Plagman was denied because of COVID precautions or just regular old sadness due to a lack of 3 goals for the Red Raiders.
Certainly also some frustration going on and leading to a lot of contact for soccer. We've seen more players on the ground tonight than in several games.
Speaking of grounders, the ground ball there from El Garan goes straight out of the field of play and will set up Schnabel with the goal kick here.
She's not seeing much action. I'm sure she appreciates that.
Yeah, can't complain too much. Of course, besides the internal body temperature aspect of it all, because it's hard. It is hard when you're not getting that much action to keep yourself warm. That one deflected quickly back into the arms of Schnabel. She'll boot a strong one up, looking for Kephart now. The missed touch by Wolverton gives Kephart an opportunity now as it goes out of bounds. Playing between Kennedy and Kephart, but that one a little too far. And now moving upfield momentarily goes Maisie Wright, but Desminowicz was there.
The ball covering a lot of yards here in this second half. They've been going up and down the pitch.
Hustle here from Maisie Wright. Not enough on that one. Cadence Lanphier will get the throw in. As we see a triple substitution from the Red Raiders coming in. Anacortes, at this point, really just trying to make sure this lead doesn't get away from them, and kind of trying to keep themselves grounded here, and just play smart ball, and wrap this game up.
It'll be interesting if they can maintain this lead for a few more minutes. We might see some of the players we don't normally see on the field, which should be pretty exciting, both for them and for us. Get some time on the ball.
I like that prediction, Coop. I do. Of course, there is always the chance that Anacortes remains on the offensive just to, try and keep the Red Raiders away from the ball as long as they can and not even give them a chance to score.
Boosting their stats, perhaps. Already 25 goals scored this season for Anacortes, compared to, I believe it was around 15,
18,
maybe
yeah.
18.
18 in total last year. Good header inside there from Kennedy, who gets it to Plagman, now to Kephart. She's going to cross fields here. Can Digweed get there? She's got the angle. It looks as if she will. Once again, we see a save deflected. Third opportunity possibly for the Seahawks. Wow. And this time, Barker makes a hustle 3 times in a row. Sure, the Red Raiders would have loved to see that a little earlier in the game. But this time, it works well. Great stops by Opal Barker there.
Smaller side of the goalie spectrum, but certainly paying off because she's very nimble on the ground.
Great touch there in the air from Plagman. And you see most of the action has occurred on this near side of the field between this sort of triangular offensive scheme we're seeing between Kephart, Plagman, and Kennedy, who've gotten a lot of touches tonight, as Disminowitz moving up field here.
Both her and Cadence way up the pitch.
And Allie Cutter gets that one back to Anacortes now. Foley sending it back to Disminowitz, who chips it to Kennedy now, trying to get a touch towards Kephart, but nothing there. Should look again to Oliver this time. Now Foley looks outside to Digweed. She'll cross towards the middle, met there by a Red Raider defender. Still not out of the woods yet, as Anacortes keeping them at bay here. Now finally a boot from the Red Raiders sends it back to the Anacortes side of the field where Lamphere is there.
She's keeping that right arm tucked in. I wonder if...
Yeah, she just took a look at it there.
Hopefully no injury involved. Just adjusting the patch.
That would be the hope. So now the Red Raiders with a throw in. Looking towards midfield. Now Pung Po. And Kennedy gets it to Plagman. Makes a nice cut there. Plagman off of Elizabeth Rosen. Once again, Digweed trying to hustle on the far sidelines. Cleared well there.
She may not quite get it, but still a lot of positive gain there. Looks like Allie Cutter taking the throw in.
Yeah, if anyone's warm, it's Alyssa Digweed. She's been really sprinting up and down the field on that far side in the second half of play in particular.
Substitutions from both sides are the Abbeys from Anacortes switching positions.
And the boot from Disminowitz. Ooh, close one there. Opal Barker able to get that save. Kennedy was ready to swoop in there and possibly get a header toward the net. And this out of bounds will give the Seahawks the ball. Little under halfway through this second half of play. Seahawks with a comfortable lead. Now Foley looks in towards Kephart, who gets it to Schnabel. Now back to Foley, looking inside again. A collision there between Red Raider players, but they're still able to get this ball out. If only for a moment. Cutter with the ball now. Couple cutbacks from Cutter. Don't fool Bellingham.
Schnabel calling for the ball, probably hoping for some action.
Hamidian now tries to get it away from Lamphere, and she can't. Now Foley looking at field. Schnabel's there. And Anacortes moving again. Kephart couldn't get to that one. She knew it immediately, and Barker boots it straight to the head of Jenna Oliver.
Digweed now with the ball. She was wide open last time.
seeing a little trip and tackle sort of thing between Oliver and a Red Raider there.
Schnabel sort of drawing the defense up toward her before putting the ball over their heads.
Now a throw in for Anacortes, but first some substitutions as Maisie Wright will come back in for Bellingham. And it looks as though Morgan Berard will come in for the Seahawks, taking Pung Po out of the equation. Oliver now looking upfield. There's Digweed yet again. She's got the ball. She'll just send it straight towards Barker. And a good save by Barker on her knees. Foley's able to get through two defenders. Pressure here on Foley. She's still able to cross it in towards the 18-yard box. And Kennedy keeping it there. She'll send a lefter over the head of Barker, but also over the top post of the goal. Just a few inches shy of a 4-0 lead off of a lefty from Kennedy.
Yeah, proving again. We saw it in the first half, but she has a remarkable left foot. Had I kicked that, it would not have gone likely anywhere near the goal.
Well, if she's not ambidextrous, she's just about as close as you can get, I'd say. She's definitely tuned in her non-dominant foot there, which is not an easy thing to do, in all honesty.
Does Minowitz booting it upfield again?
Now Schnabel with an opportunity, and they're going to call that one offsides. Haven't actually seen a lot of offsides penalties tonight, just because Anacortes has found that through their speed advantage, through balls are a much more realistic option, and they have worked. Really, we're seeing in the last few minutes a lot of attempted utilization of Digweed on that far side of the field, because she definitely has the speed.
We're not sure where her defender typically is either, but it's not covering Alyssa.
No. More, it's hard not to get pulled by the ball when it's on the opposite side of you, and we're seeing that that far side defender who's supposed to be, contesting Digweed, kind of getting drawn towards the center of the field, which leaves Digweed open for crossings from Foley or Kennedy, whoever it may be. And then at that point, all she has to do is hustle to the ball, which she's done rather exceptionally.
And a fairly good job of controlling it afterwards as well. When you've got that much speed, it's sure difficult to put any power behind the ball, because you're trying just not to trip over your own feet.
Little slippage there for French, but she's able to stay on her feet now. And unable to get to that one, so a throw in here awarded to the Seahawks. If they could score here, it would almost be a guaranteed sealant.
Pung Po coming in for the Seahawks. Not sure who came out.
There's another throw in for Anacortes. Or rather, the same throw in. They just stopped that one to let her get substituted. As Foley, with a quick turnaround, sends a grounder into the box.
Free kick for Anacortes?
Looks to be the situation, yeah.
It's a good place to be in. Lots of coverage from the defenders, but with so much chaos, it's really hard for the goalie to stay on top of these.
Especially with her size disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm sure she's not seeing overly well over her defender there.
Kephart will send in the grounder. This one doesn't even have the opportunity to touch any players as it sails just left of the goalpost and out of bounds. So a goal kick given to Barker here. Now we're starting to see some more substitutions, kind of getting that rolling again as Carolina Schwetz will come in this time. And it looks as though Kennedy's just going to switch fields and let Schwetz come to our near side here. Now Foley again. She'll look for Kephart. Able to stay on her feet, but giving up the ball there is Ava Kephart. Lamphere looking directly towards Schnabel, but Kephart's able to get that one off. Disminowitz reading it well, as she does. Now looking out wide towards Kennedy. Grounder. And another substitution for the Red Raiders, Jessup Bates coming in.
That brings us to 8 for this half. While we wait for the ball, it's also worth mentioning that Ava Kephart, deservingly for her talent, will be playing soccer in college next year. It's escaping me where. I'll get back to you if I remember. But she'll be continuing her career in these next years.
Yeah, unfortunately, she's battled injuries the last couple years of her time at AHS, and we haven't seen her as much as we'd like to. As Foley gets this one straight into the hands of Barker. Good attempt there by Foley. But now she's, fairly healthy and able to get a decent amount of playing time. And with that, she has performed well. Scoop from Barker, leaving the ball in the hands, or rather feet, of the Red Raiders.
We see Edith Guzman now taking the field in place of Kephart, and I'm sure she'll be glad to be playing, just because she's got to be freezing by now on the bench.
No doubt. Berard now contests that one and gets it back to the Anacortes players. So Foley looking upfield, stopped quickly there. Kennedy gets past one defender. Moving upfield is Kennedy, but the defender was able to get back on her. Now Disminowitz pushing forward.
She's just having fun now.
Yeah.
She knows she's got some cushion, so she's about to score a goal.
Not out of it yet.
Not sure if that one is a throw-in or a goal kick. Came right by the flag.
I think they're going to go ahead and call that. Yeah, I think it looks as though they'll call it a corner.
2 more substitutions. That's a pace of 1 every 2.5 minutes or something now.
Folks, I'd just like to say publicly, I would be nothing without the incredible mathematical skills of my co-commentator, Cooper Nichols.
That one actually ended up being a throw-in. It's too far away up here.
Yeah, really, folks, I think it's safe to say Cooper and I have the most to complain about. We're warm up here in the booth, but the sight lines are terrible.
We should petition for a helicopter. Just hover over the play.
Good cutback from Foley there, as I think I've worn off my sarcasm for the night. Now Pungpo looking up to Foley again, and this one will go out of bounds in favor of Bellingham. Clock, if it wasn't a factor just at the beginning of the second half where the Seahawks had a 2-0 lead, It's now a serious factor as under 10 minutes to go here, plus maybe a couple minutes of stoppage time, you've got to think. But now a 3-0 lead for the Seahawks, and not a lot of time for the Red Raiders, especially if the Seahawks can continue to keep the ball on Bellingham's side of the field, which to now they have done. Schnabel sends this one once again into the hands of Barker. Seahawk players kind of making Barker look good because they've set up a lot of shots in the second half, and it just so happens that they've been a little too close to Barker to be goals. But continual pressure from the Seahawks is paying off here in the late stages of this game.
It's hard as a goalie, or as an attacker making a shot on goal, to not hit the goalie, because that's the first place you look to make sure you don't go there.
Right.
Unfortunately, when the ball tends to end up where you're watching.
That one barely kept in bounds, actually, by Barker off the free kick from none other than Sammy Desminowitz, and her kick will go to the foot of Giovanna Jessa Bates on one number off.
Kephart back in contesting the ball on that far side.
Now Foley in the midfield will look back towards Desminowitz and to Bernard here, and just moving down the line, a defensive chain here all the way to Lamphere. Now Foley actually
looks like she might have had her toe stepped on.
She wasn't even knocked over. She actually just took to the ground herself, which is kind of worse. But staying up is Foley here.
Cleats
showing
are
some toughness. Sorry, go
great.
ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying optimal for traction, not so much so for stepping on people's feet.
Yeah, no doubt. That's never fun to get cleated. And the free kick from Desminowitz again. So whistle blown, and the free kick now given to the Red Raiders. They'll try to send it back the other way as we see yet another substitution for the Seahawks. This time looks to be Oliver coming in.
Not sure.
Well, we do know who she's replacing. That's Emma Foley.
Carrying to a toe on the sidelines there.
Now looking for Schwetz, the ball from Schnabel. God, it's so nice to just have this free alliteration handed to you just by the natural pronunciation of player names. Hard hit there on Oliver. That's Julia Haywood getting a little angsty.
We should be keeping track of free kicks this game, because we might just have like the Guinness World Record at this point.
I don't know about free kicks, but for substitutions, we're probably getting pretty darn close.
No doubt.
Desminowitz sends a long one. It's over there! And there, playing into the hands of the Seahawks, is the lack of height for Opal Barker as she sends that one upfield off of a frustrated foot. That's just really unfortunate. Sammy Desminowitz, this is why she takes the free kicks, am I right? That one was well over half field. What a ball from Desminowitz, and a lucky bounce there just over the head of Barker.
As someone who has done that in a game, I would not want to be Barker right now.
Yeah, fun fact to all those listening at home. Cooper and I played a little ball ourselves back in the day. New Millennium. Shout out to the club, the soccer club coached by our very own Louis Santos.
Not sure that even exists anymore. I think they might have dissolved into Northwest United. irrelevant, however.
Kennedy throws up her hand trying to call Jacoby for a handball there, but it doesn't matter because they'll get the throw in. And just like that, it's 4-0. Wow, that was really a beautiful ball from Desminowitz.
We are going to have a highlight reel from tonight.
Yeah, definitely a more exciting matchup, at least for Coop and I to watch, and obviously fans who are in the stands, though there's not many, of course, compared to the last game we covered against Linden Christian, I believe it was, where the Seahawks fell 1-0 in a really close game. Now Maisie Wright with some attacking potential. She'll send it straight into the arms of Claire Schnabel, who gets an easy save. 3.5 minutes to play here. Definitely in favor of the Seahawks, as there's less time on the clock than goals on the board for Anacortes.
That is a good way to be.
Kephart having to hustle here near the sidelines, and I think she thought that was going to her, but instead it'll be Bellingham with the ball.
Not for long.
So Kephart herself will throw in, looking towards Schnabel, and Digweed getting that one, I think that's Pierce. And good muscle off from Schnabel there. She'll look forward to Pierce now, as we see the impact that the speed on these outer edges. I know we've said it a lot tonight, folks, but it's continually relative, because Kayla Pierce there just didn't really have the same power to get to the ball as Digweed or Kennedy have in this affair.
I'm sure these players are earning their speed that typically comes from a lot of running in practice. And you got to work for it. There's no way around it.
Yeah, definitely. Casual save there by Barker. And Desminowitz sliding on this one, still has the ball.
Another free kick? Looks like it.
In favor of Bellingham this time, it seems to be.
Apparently a slippery field. We've seen a couple. I mean, that probably plays into all the players on the ground tonight. Human night, I suppose.
Bellingham hasn't seen a ton of free kicks tonight as compared to Anacortes. We'll see if they can replicate what Desminowitz did earlier. My guess is they won't be able to.
Claire Schnabel in the goal, definitely having a lot more height and perhaps a little bit more skill.
Okay.
She hasn't gotten to demonstrate it yet.
Yeah, which we can't complain about, obviously, because as much as you love to see athletic and incredible saves by the goalies, there's nothing wrong with not having any pressure.
Nothing at all.
We'll take that. And I'm sure Schnabel will too, as she gets a goal kick here.
Playing in stoppage time now. The official 70 minutes has run off the clock.
See, Coop, this is when I wonder how you're so good at math, but you miss that it's 80 minutes.
Don't we play 35-minute halves?
40-40.
Oh.
So close. But then again, how much does it really matter when you're up this much, this late?
None at all. I'm sure they're trying. Oh, at this point, they're working for the free kick record as well.
No,
that was the end of the game.
Yeah, at this, I was just gonna say, at this point, the game is over. Anacortes taking this one in the not so tightly contested conference matchup between your hometown Seahawks and the visiting Red Raiders. Strong performance from the Seahawks here. Cameron Kerr had to exit the game early, but the Seahawks plowed forward, played some great soccer, and got a big win here in the late stages of this season.
We will hit you with some replays and be back for a game breakdown.
Well, that could also mean like just us talking.
Yeah.
And you're live.
Welcome you back for a post-game breakdown. Michael Hanrahan alongside Cooper Nichols here at Rice Field. Great win tonight by the Seahawks.
Absolutely. They're now 6-2-1, I believe. Great record for the Seahawks. They've got a lot of seniors this year, but even more so, a lot of strong underclassmen.
Definitely.
That, we're not likely to see a weak team anytime soon. And they're feeling that tonight. Some celebration going on over on the bench.
Definitely. I think, speaking of underclassmen players, she doesn't play like an underclassman, though she is just a sophomore. That's Cameron Kerr, who scored the first goal to put the Seahawks up 1-0 early in the game, about 8 minutes in. Then she had to leave. But really, one of the strongest statements I think the Seahawks were able to make tonight was being able to score 3 goals after that. You know, losing such an incredible player. I hate to be repetitive, but it's important to note how much of an anchor she is for that offense. And even without it, the Seahawks were able to run up the scoreboard and get a pretty dominant win here against the Red Raiders, who aren't scrubs. You know, they may not be the best in the league as far as their record goes, now 3-4-2. But it's no piece of cake.
No, absolutely not. We'll close out the night here, but catch us next Wednesday for volleyball at 7.